I am Luigi, and today with my ShareKnowledge I try to explain the accessible design. A wrong idea about the accessibility is that the accessibility is only for the disabled people. But the accessibility is a concept who has referred about people with temporary and permanent disability, with people get older, everyone, and in general people having in trouble. The accessibility refers to the design and creation of software that are intuitive to navigate, consistent in appearance, and providing relevant information. The accessibility is a part of a main concept of usability experience. The usability experience is a term for refer to design and create a software that the user can be seen and understood by all and on all the platforms. And the usability and the accessibility is the main concept of universal design. In our time, with the incrementing of the medium age and the population, is a problem very important for the future. Apple have a particular interest in this type of problem, and for this the main part of people with a disability have preferred the Apple device. And for this, on the Apple site, it's possible to see guideline for the design, for the code, and we have a different best practice in base our device we can programming. We have different best practice for tvOS, watchOS, macOS, and iOS. But in this ShareKnowledge, we focus on the iOS best practice and the tool for the accessibility. For sure, the tool more famous for iOS is VoiceOver. VoiceOver is a screen reader that interacts with objects in your app, so user can drag the interface even if they can't see it. Another tool very important is the speech. Our application is important to translate in other language, because if we don't translate our application, we have a problem of inaccessibility for people who also don't have a disability. Captioning and audio description. In iOS, lets users configure captions and audio description during this video playback, and in time when the internet is full of video, this problem is very important for the future. And display customization for iOS offer different customization for display, bold text, high contrast cursor, reduce transparency, dark mode, reduce motion, as important for people who have blind to color or visual impaired, dyslexia, and other type of problem. The last is the guiding access. For example, a parent, a teacher, or a physiotherapist can set only a part of app that user can be use, and only a part of the screen that user can be visualized for problem of cognitive problem. Now we start about the code. For the development of an accessible app, we know that there are an element is accessible, another element there isn't, an element not accessible. For default, more of the element, for example, button, label, checkbox, are tagged how accessibility element. And other element, for example, video and imaging, don't for default have tagged how not accessibility element. An accessibility element is an element that have the property who interact with the users. And for this, if I tag how accessibility element, I can use this element for interact with the disabled user. And in this slide we can see it's too simply change the parameter for go to accessible element and not accessible element and not. When we talk about accessibility element, the best important concept is there are a sequence of information that we give to the user. This information is five, and are very important, the sequence of this information. The first information that we give the user is the name. The name is the accessibility or etiquette. The etiquette is an alternative name that we give or the element or accessibility element that the screen reader read when go on this element. And this is mandatory. The second element is the personality. What's my personality? Or traits is mandatory, and the traits of an accessibility element is the type of the element, for example, button, label, checkbox, imaging, for specify the type of interaction with the user. The third information, not mandatory but important, is the value. What's my value? The value is not mandatory because there are the part of the element interface that don't have value, for example a simple button, and other button, for example an imaging or clock, have an important value to give to the user. The first information is how should people interact with me. Is the accessible element have a hint, is a mandatory, and is a description who the user can interact with the element of the interface. And the fifth element and last element is where I am, where am I. Is position on the screen of the interface element, because the position of the element on the interface not necessarily is the same of physical position on the screen. And for this we can set the notification for the disabled user for go and determine specifying wait. Allora, it's thank you. It's a best practice use an accessible structure for implementing all the accessibility concept that I show in other slide. When we work with the accessibility gesture are basically different with the gesture we use normal people. For example, gesture more useful for blind people is the magic tap. Magic tap is a double tap with two fingers on the screen, and in slide it's possible to see the easily implementing this accessible gesture. Another important concept on voiceover is that the notification are very important for disabled people because is the type of information that the disabled people have when use the screen reader. And in this slide there are simple example for implementing in Beauty Load the post notification for gives the information to the user. Now I have a little demo for explain this concept.
Io ho appena messo un dito davanti alla fotocamera. Ma ti prego, io... Era la mia ambizione fare il cavalletto umano. Peccato.
Veramente? Oh, ma non va
Ma posso interrompere mo? Riprendo dopo.